afternoon or good evening or good morning to all of you who watch this video. So in this video we will discuss about deductive argument. Okay, deductive argument. How are we going to form? Okay, how do we form a valid? Okay, a valid deductive argument. A valid one. So a valid ataupun we say sah. Okay, sebuah hujah deduktif yang sah. Okay, so there are three types of deductive arguments. Okay, if the deductive argument is category in these three types, means that this is a valid. Okay, a valid deductive arguments. Okay, so in these three types is the form 1, form 2 and form 3. So the form 1, okay, the form 1 one, okay, if you observe the form 1, your premise 1 here will be start with the word all. Okay, your premise 1 will start with the word all. So and then if your premise 1 is all, means that we can categorize this as form 1. Alright, okay, if form 2, okay, form 2 you have if then. Okay, if then, this is an implication, right? So we will start with an implication. Okay, and then you will see that the second premise will say that P is true and Q is true. Okay, P is true and Q is true. So this is a form 2 argument. Okay, a form 3 argument. For a form 3 argument, if you look properly, the premise 1 is still an implication, right? Okay, the premise 1 is still an implication. So it's still an implication, but what makes it different from form 2? Okay, form 3 argument. Okay, form 3 argument, you will have your premise 2 is not Q. Okay, they will start with not Q, means that the negation, okay, the negation of Q is true. And then the conclusion, you reach conclusion, negation of P or not P is true. Okay, not P is true. So now let's see how are we going to form a strong one, a valid deductive arguments. Okay, for form 1 arguments first. Okay, for form 1 arguments. Okay, you have two methods, okay, to form this to answer this kind of question. Okay, usually they will give you the question will have premise 1, premise 2 and a conclusion. You will need to find either one of it. Okay, for this example, you will need to find what is the conclusion, right? So you have two methods, either you use H method, okay, or use cut method. Okay, I explain H method first. Okay, H method. If H method means that you will need to draw a H first. Okay, a H. Okay, on top of this H, this area is your premise 1. Okay, is your premise 1. And then below here will be your premise 2. And then here will be your conclusion. Alright, so let's see the first question. The first question, premise 1, all pentagons have 5 sides. So at the premise 1, all pentagons, okay, all pentagons, what happened? Have 5 sides. Okay, this all pentagons have 5 sides. Okay, then question, premise 2. Premise 2, shape P is a pentagon. So put in shape P is a pentagon. Okay, you see your this line, okay, this line here, this line is talk about pentagon, right? Pentagon, pentagon. So what is the new thing here? Shape P. So shape, please say shape P is the new thing here. So what you can do, okay, copy back the shape P, and then look up here. What it says? Have 5 sides. So shape P have 5 sides. Okay, so this will be your conclusion here. So hence your answer here is shape P have 5 sides. Alright, okay, if I want to use the cut method, okay, this is H method. This is H method. This is H method. If I want to use cut method, how? Okay, cut method for form 1, you must always, first thing you do is cut off the word all. Okay, cut out the word all. Okay, and then find what is the same phrase, okay, the same word between the given information. You have pentagon and pentagon. Okay, cut off the word pentagon. Alright, so now you left with what? You left with shape P and have 5 sides, right? Okay, then you construct the sentence, okay, construct the statement. You say shape P have 5 sides. Okay, either one is correct as long as you get the answer. Okay, either method is correct as long as you get the answer here. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, another example. Okay, I want to use H method for this one. Okay, premise 1, all prime numbers are odd numbers. Premise 2, 5 is a prime number. And then find what is the conclusion. Alright, I use H method. So we draw H. We draw a H. Okay, on top here is always premise 1. Okay, premise 1, they say all prime number. All prime number. What happened to all prime number? Are odd numbers. Okay, are odd numbers. Okay, then below here is your premise 2. Premise 2, they say 5 is a prime number. 5 is a prime number. Okay, so if you observe, this line here talks about prime number, right? This line here talks about prime number. So what is the new thing here in this line? What is the different thing in this line except for 5, 5, because this is prime number, this is also prime number, so 5 is the new thing. So you just copy the 5 to beside 5. Okay, 5 is what? 5, what happened to 5? Look at this line. Okay, 5 are, 5 is lah, because singular mah. Okay, English, 5 is odd number. Alright, so your answer, this is your conclusion for this question. Your conclusion you can write here. 5 is odd number. Okay. Alright, you may say, okay sir, if I want to use cut method, how? Okay, cut method, you first thing you must cut off the word all. Okay, all remember form 1 argument must cut off the word all. Okay, then find what is the same phrase from the given information. This blue color, same phrase, same word. Okay, so prime number. Okay, prime number is the same, right? So we cut off. So and then what you left with? Okay, then use your English. What you have no English, so you can write 5 is odd number. Okay, 5 is odd numbers. Alright, so this is your answer. Either one method you will get the same answer. Okay, the third example. Okay, this example, this time different from example 2. Example 2, they give you premise 1, premise 2, and then find conclusion. This time they give you premise 1, conclusion, and you need to find premise 2. Okay, same thing also, you can use H method or cut method. Okay, we use H method first. H method. Okay, H method. So H method, the top here is the premise 1. So premise 1, all odd numbers. Okay, all odd numbers. What happened to these all odd numbers? Are not divisible by 2. Okay, and then premise 2. Do you have premise 2? No, right? This is what you want to find, right? Okay, so leave it first. Okay, conclusion. P is not divisible by 2. So conclusion, P is not divisible by 2. Okay, so let's see this branch here, this branch, this okay, this branch here talks about not divisible by 2. Not divisible by 2. So what is the new thing here? P, right? P is the new thing. So copy back P to beside. So we have P. Okay, what happened to P? Look at the branch here. Look at the branch of P. So this one, okay? So we can say P is an odd number. Okay, so your answer, you say P is an odd number. Alright, If I want to use cut method, so first thing you must cut the word all. So cut the word all and then find, okay, between the given one, blue color, this one, okay, that's the one I start, this is the given, okay, you need to find premise 2. Okay, so premise 2, find in premise 1 and conclusion, find what is the same. Okay, the same is not divisible by 2, not divisible by 2. So you left with the answer P is an odd number. Okay, so this is how you answer for form 1 argument. Okay, next video we will see how to do form 2 argument and form 3 arguments. Okay, so see you in the next video.